When an international automotive giant is strapped for cash, they usually trim middle management or cut a few slow-selling models. Nissan was so starved for capital, they had to pack up and sell off their own global headquarters. This waterfall chart illustrates the sheer mathematical scale of their crisis. Look at this drop from previous baselines, plunging straight down to a massive $3.4 billion net loss for the fiscal year ending last March. To understand how they got into this hole, we have to look at the 4 separate weights dragging that bar down. Nissan took heavy losses due to fierce new competition in China, heavy US tariffs, persistent global inflation, and a devastating internal miscalculation, where they lost money on leased vehicles returning to the market. To stop the bleeding, CEO Ivan Espinosa has officially placed the company under a severe emergency stabilization plan. The path to survival is narrow. After a $3.4 billion loss, the company's entire turnaround strategy relies on hitting a modest $127 million profit by 2027. To immediately protect cash reserves, Nissan began executing brutal operational cuts. By 2027, they will shutter 7 manufacturing plants globally and eliminate 20,000 jobs. They also desperately needed a financial life raft. For months, Nissan engaged in high-stakes talks with their rival, Honda, hoping to merge operations. The goal was simple: split the astronomically high research and development costs of electric vehicles. But that lifeline snapped. Honda is managing the immense costs of its own EV transition and ultimately decided to walk away from a full merger. Now, the two automakers are settling for a fractured compromise. They will only pursue limited partnerships to share parts and develop software. With the full merger dead, Nissan was forced to liquidate its own assets just to free up working capital. They aggressively reduced their existing stake in Mitsubishi Motors down to just 24%. These desperate liquidations and collapsed alliances prove that Nissan can no longer rely on outside salvation or massive corporate scale to survive. The only way forward is to alter the actual cars they sell. This animated grid shows exactly how those financial cuts translate to the showroom floor. They are aggressively shrinking their vehicle portfolio, taking their lineup from 56 models down to a highly targeted 45. The first casualties are mass-market sedans. Nissan is dumping these slow-selling cars entirely so they can focus on vehicles that generate significantly higher profit margins. That brings us to the first pillar of their new strategy. Nissan is leaning heavily into the rugged, highly profitable truck and SUV demographic. They are anchoring this push on established models like the Frontier, Pathfinder, and Armada, and have officially greenlit the return of the body-on-frame Xterra, reviving a legacy, rugged aesthetic for a modern market. At the same time, they are bucking standard industry trends. Despite the critical success of early models like the Leaf shown here, Nissan is deliberately slowing down its push into pure electric vehicles. Instead, the second pillar of their turnaround is funneling cash into e-power hybrid technology and plug-in hybrids. As seen in this Qashqai, they want to capture the massive group of buyers who are still hesitant to commit to a fully electric car. The third pillar focuses on branding. Nissan is expanding its Nismo performance division, establishing dedicated centers globally to draw enthusiast attention back to the badge. In a highly unusual move, Nismo is actually bringing back manual transmissions due to massive pushback from driving enthusiasts. This legacy appeal is directly driving upcoming product decisions, including a rumored manual version of the Z Nismo and the next-generation Skyline. By dropping sedans and pure EVs in favor of rugged SUVs, hybrids, and manual sports cars, Nissan is deliberately trading total sales volume for higher profit on every single vehicle they build. Today, Nissan has successfully navigated past the initial blind panic phase of its corporate decline. Their overarching turnaround philosophy requires deliberately shedding massive scale. They are abandoning their decades-old quest to be an everything-to-everyone mass-market automaker. By 2027, the company will look remarkably different from its past. It will be significantly smaller, operationally leaner, and distinctly more specialized. They are betting their entire existence on a strict, targeted reliance on rugged SUVs, accessible e-power hybrids, and manual transmission cars built strictly for enthusiasts. In the current automotive market, Nissan has determined that aggressively shrinking its footprint is the only mathematically viable way to stabilize the balance sheet and return to profitability.